Okay, everyone. I seem to have gotten quite a positive response to my Bretonnia mid-build showcase. 500 views in a very short time, which is, I'm going to admit, very rare for my channel. So I'm really pleased about that, and thank you, for engaging with that content. Now, what I've done is I've decided to do a kind of fully built, undercoated, and test model showcase to see what you think basically of my ideas. So I'm going to just start off by, just panning over everything so you can see the pure majesty of this. I'm hoping that you won't see too much of my complete and utter wreck of an office at the moment, but I do apologise. It's a very busy place at the moment. So I did a good talk about a lot of the miniatures previously. So I had a good chat about the positioning, the ranking, the poses of the models, and I had some really good feedback as well on the comments. So thank you for giving your feedback on the comments, because it was really good to hear. Like the kind of opinions. Someone actually challenged my assertion here about this, the way that I said, oh, shouldn't they be slightly arced upwards? And someone's like, well, actually, no, you'll get more of a power kill, basically powerful shot against armored creatures if you're putting all your strength forward. So it's like, okay, cool. It's good to hear different points of view. So this is what I've got. I've got my two Knights of the Realm. I'm tempted to do one as pretty much the colour scheme that I've chosen for the main force, and then the other one I'm going to try a bit of a showcase, and try and show off different techniques. So what I might do with one of them is pick a colour scheme per dukedom, and then that will make them nice and vibrant. And what it will look like then, hopefully, is I'll have one Knights of the Realm that is the duchy's household retinue, and then another Knights of the Realm force that I'm gonna do as kind of knights who've kind of travelled from other duchies and kept their colours, so they're a mixed unit. And I think that'll be nice because it'll get to mean that I can paint one colour scheme of a few duchies while having my core duchy. I'm sure that's how it is duchy, isn't it? That you say it. Okay, I've got the Pegasus Knight over here. Just try and get it into nice view. Oop. Trying to make a really smooth transition. Then my arm got stuck. My thingy arm got stuck. It's because it's wrapped itself. But absolutely love this miniature. He looks really good. I think he's very kind of well posed. I think the Royal Pegasus isn't that gorgeous when you get it all together. Yeah, it looks absolutely stunning. So he's going to be my main Knight of the Realm. Why can't I say things right today? My main Duke. So, we'll go from there. Then, of course, I've got my Pegasus Knights. Again, I'm not going to do them mixed heraldry. I feel that they will be part of the duchy as well. Now, you might notice that there's different undercoat types going on. I'll just explain actually very quickly if I can just pop one of these Pegasus off its base. With the regular troops, you can just see I've given them a straight grey undercoat. With these, what I've done is I've done a black undercoat underneath, an all-over undercoat of Adeptus, Mechanicus Standard grey, and then on the top down, just top down, I've done Gracier contrast spray. And the reason behind that is I find that whatever kind of approach you're taking to painting, it's a good starting point. If you're properly thinning your paints and making things properly, doing it in layers and things. So I find that to be a great way to kind of get, oh, there's my Pegasus going. Oh, I'm not going to try and pop him back up. He is an absolute pain to balance. That's a shame. Come on. Pop back up, okay. So yeah, I could spend absolutely ages trying to rebalance this, and he hates me. He just wants to keep falling over. Try and rebalance him just gently. Thank you. Okay, so I didn't do that with the core troops. I was tempted, but and I still might. I'm going to actually see what people's opinions are as I go through. So you've got just a Mechanicus standard grey on these guys. It's a good mid-tone grey to start with, whether or not you're using a contrast method or whether or not you're using old style method, basically, of solid colours, or mixing them together as I frequently do. I hate to use the word slap chop, but if you like slap chop, okay, using that three-tone approach will help you slap chop out because it will speed you up. I know I could be to some extent I prefer like what people properly call it, which is a grisaille approach, although I'm sure a proper artist would be shocked at me attempting to say a three-tone underspray is in any way an underpainting, but it can be if you do it right. So archers, again, you know, nothing has changed here since my midpoint review, apart from I think I've put some decoration on these bases here just to make them a bit more interesting. Okay, this is really what I would love some opinions on. Okay, and this is my test model, so he's not gone into tons of details, but what he is a test of, you know, different approaches that I want to take with my force. Now, I've colour scheme wise, I like blue and orange. I've never tried blue and orange together, and I thought, you know what, this could turn out to be quite a nice force if I do it. I believe that if you maybe were playing Total War 2, I'm trying to remember now. It's the colours of Aquitaine. However, I don't like Aquitaine's heraldry. It's some kind of weird like claw with a weird feathered head. I'm going to try and do something different, and then, you know, I'll just say that they're like a questing chapter of them, so they're away. Now I've got my banner, which I started off with a Griffhound contrast over the grey, and that gives you a brown colour, actually, not an orange colour really. Then in order to kind of give a bit more tone and highlight, I've got this one. I love this orange, by the way. This is a really nice orange from scale 75. Tiamat orange. And I've kind of done a combination of some places I've dry brushed it on, some places I've just layered it on thinly, and then used this other yellow that I love, Flash Git Yellow, for additional highlights to what I hope appears to be the banner kind of being highlighted by, you know, natural lighting. One thing I did find though is that the shield in the center was a real pain to do. So one of the layers that I did on that was a mix of Tiamat and Flash Git. So I actually combined the colours at one point to help me build a more solid base because it was just not looking right. The blue is Ultramarines blue contrast, washed with Tyran blue. Again, 2 layers of the contrast, then inked it. And I think it, you know, it's come out quite well. I've not really put much effort into the wood yet, but just so you know, that's catching flesh. Okay, the metalwork on the top, I hope you can see it's got a slight tint of colouring to it. So all that was lead belcher, blue. I've noticed now that the camera is very, very close. It's picked up a bit of a yellow tinge to it on the edges, probably while I was dry brushing onto the banner. I actually don't think that looks bad, but maybe I do need to kind of hide it a bit, maybe just because it might not look sensible, but actually it just adds a different colouring. But hopefully you like that kind of Tyrant blue shade over blue to create a hopefully a steel in the sun effect. Same with the top of his helmet. You can see I've done exactly the same with the helmet. I've done lead belcher and then just washed it. Shield, dead simple again. The whole thing got covered with lead belcher. The blue is a deliberately heavy shade of Tyrant blue. Okay, so it like literally washed over it properly. The shield, again, lead belcher with Gryph-hound contrast to create a metallic orange shield. I'm going to do that metallic orange probably on my knights. I'd love to hear your feedback about it, whether or not you think it's a good idea. Okay, what else have we got here? His clothing. So same again with the blue. It's blue contrast washed with Tyrant shade. Now, his clothes, I wanted to infer some orange. So I wanted to give an idea of orange without it feeling too vibrant. And I know from experience that Gryph-hound orange over grey will give you a brownish colour. But the brown will have an orange tint to it. And that gives you that kind of rough span, he can't afford orange clothes, so he's going to try and get closest as possible. I also wanted it to feel a bit worn out. And all I did with that is, again, dry brush some Tiamat over it. A few times, actually. And a very gentle dry brush at the end of Flash Git. So basically what I've done is I've used the same 3 colours of orange in different methods to create different, intensities of orange. I hope you like it. I hope you find it an interesting approach. So it is an orange as a result of it. And I think that's the point that I'm trying to go for there. I'm trying to infer that he's tried to make orange because that's his colours. But as a poor peasant, the ability to actually do that is pretty slim. I used some Doombrel for actual leather, like the shoes. I also did Doombrel as the initial flesh tone, followed by Kislev. And it's laid over twice, that one, 2 thin coats. I'd love to know what you think before I start delving into this. Do you believe I've got the right approach? Should I make the orange clothes more vibrant, or should I stay with that kind of, too poor to afford real dye, real good clothing for his due, but he's tried his best. But there we go. That is the full build showcase. I hope you like it. I hope that maybe it's given you some inspiration about your own approaches. I'll try and do a proper painting video when I'm confident that I'm on the right track with the colour scheme. But put it simply, my wife usually hates dull browns as colour schemes, but I've somehow sold her on the way that orange looks on the clothing. And I think that's partly because the banner looks very bright and it creates a nice stark contrast. And I think if I keep the metallic blue and metallic orange on the metalwork, I hope that where I kind of do a dull colour underneath it, it will make it pop. I still think I need to do some edge highlighting on the blues. I think the blues just need to have a bit more pop on the edges. So I think my thought process next on that one is probably something like Lothern blue, just to add a bit of edge highlighting. So, but because of the way I've done it, I should be able to paint them quite quick. Well, there we go. That is the full build preview of the Bretonnians. I'd love to know what you think. I'd love to hear your opinions about my colour scheme choices. And I'd love you to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.